So you know what a really good thing in life is? Just humor itself. It's just something that you can boost yourself up with without any need for dopamine or serotonin or any of those neurotransmitting chemicals. It's just something that it's like a form of happiness that just comes so abruptly you don't even realize it. And I don't know. I don't know why we have it, to be honest. I don't know. But I think it's probably a gift from heaven because it's just um, it can really lift your mood up for the rest of the day um, if you're just moody or something, or if you're not happy for some reason. Like, let's say something funny happens. Like, now most humor, I'm going to preface this by saying, is inherently dark. Um, I think that if some guy runs into a window and he thinks that it's not there's no window there, I think that that's hilarious. And the more hurt he is, the funnier I think it is, honestly. And that doesn't make me a bad person because that's just what's I'm making myself laugh now just thinking about it. But but that's what I don't know. It's like the superiority thing. Like you're not the idiot who like banged their head into a window. So you're you feel superior then, and like there's just this kind of release of something in your brain, and it just feels great. So humor can first of all arise from feeling superior to someone, because something bad abruptly happened to them. It can also arise from absurdity. So if something just comes completely randomly, and that ties back into the first one, um, you don't realize at all, like, and you don't even know what the causality is for this thing, like what the reason is, what why on earth this would ever happen. You just don't have any clue. Then that could also be funny. That's more likely to be funny than if you don't know why something is there. That's why people just laugh at random things when things aren't supposed to be there. Like, think like in this big luxurious New York office that's probably worth 1 million alone, and then there's this big slimy dog in it. Some people might find that funny, and it's not that funny when I'm saying it. But if you were there, if your sense of humor is kind of mature, that you'll probably find that funny, and you'll probably find other stuff funny as well. Like, um, I don't know, you like some big important businessman just starts breaking down and cursing or something. That's funny because you just don't expect it. It's pure absurdity. It's pure outrageousness. You don't have any clue why on earth this has happened. It doesn't make sense to you why this could ever happen. So it's funny. I don't know. Our brains, for some reason, think that that's funny, and so yeah, we have superiority, which is pretty much the source of dark humor. We have absurdity, and then we have the truth. So if something is just really accurate to the actual situation, then it's probably going to be funnier. So this is kind of difficult to explain, but let me just give an example. When those people imitate other people who are really like, let's say, really determined to do something, like it's a real effort, and someone is just taking them off, and the person that's mimicking them is just doing such a great job of mimicking them. That's gonna be more likely to make you laugh because it's just funnier. Like, it's funnier when it's closer to the truth, and that's what I found anyway. So those watches insert YouTuber once videos. The reason they're so funny is because the person actually captures their personality so well that you just can hardly even tell them apart because it's just so accurate. That's why they're so funny, because they're just they're just dead on. They don't deviate away from the average that the person usually behaves. So when a real funny person can kind of make a combination of all of these three, they can somehow make the truth also outrageous, and they also make it like some kind of dark situation that it's that you're glad that you're not in. So um, some workman slips on a pile of slates at the top of a roof, and then he falls down, like that's a situation that probably happens normally. But let's say if this was a scene in a movie and then this was just portrayed in this random, just completely unprompted scenario, it follows a completely serious scene, and that contrast then just makes it so much more absurd. Like the contrast makes it absurd from the seriousness, and that's why the more determined someone is and the harder they fail, the funnier it is as well, because it's just such an absurd contrast from their efforts. Like you think with their efforts that they'd be succeeding really well, but when they don't, then that's funny. And that situation incorporates both the superiority humor trigger and the absurdity human trigger, because you find it funny that someone else has failed. You also find it funny that it's just they just failed out of nowhere. So yeah, that incorporates two of the three main principles. But another reason that kind of scene in the movie I alluded to earlier would be accurate was because it's probably like a common situation where workers do have these accidents when they're working up on the roofs and they're in dangerous situations. Then they might be more likely to actually fall off the roof, and it might not be that uncommon, you know. So making something normal and true into this situation you portray or present is another good way to just make a funny situation. That's why that scene in the movie would be good for humor purposes. Now, there are different perceptions of these humor as well. Uh, I think usually guys enjoy superiority more than girls do, because um, I don't know, it's just this masculine thing to laugh at something bad that's happened, and then the woman is usually absolutely horrified about it. That's usually how it goes. There was this comedian I had a couple of years ago. My class and I were just visiting him, and he was like, girl laughs at little cute kitty, hey hey hey, and then guy laughs at kitty falling off the cliff, haha. You know, it's like that. So yeah, that does make an effective contrast. So in order to be funny, you do need to consider your audience as well. And again, I mentioned earlier that absurdity usually comes from works better for more mature people, because people who are more mature are usually used to a more routinous and predictable life. So when they find something unpredictable, then it's more likely that the absurdity is going to work better on them because they're just not used to it, and it makes more of a contrast then. So yeah, three principles of humor are absurdity, truth, and superiority. And yeah, you can leverage these effectively. To be honest, my favorite one is probably superiority. I just really, really like it when I'm not some kind of sadist or something. It's just maybe I am, I don't know, but I just find it very funny, you know. So yeah, if you want to get the maximum results, try to incorporate maybe one or even more of these principles, and you'll probably do well.